Guys, so this is like a short Maya rigging scripting tutorial, how to rig a horse using my sequential auto rigger. And it's just to give you an idea how this system works. If you haven't watched the first part, definitely start there. It will tell you how to download the auto rigger and what the whole thing is about. Just one more note here. This is a little bit more advanced stuff this time, so in case you guys feel like it's too much, make sure to check out my quadruped rigging course or Minotaur rigging course. Both of them are available on my website. Some of the tutorials are free, others are only available for patrons. Alright, let's delve into part 2. And now we can run our rigging tool. We can open that, the horse config that I just copied over, and let's see. So run step, that makes the new scene, sets the variables, imports the template. So it imported the wrong template. Basically, I need to modify the code for that. So in order to do that, I can also click on this. I can do edit step. I can just go edit code. And I'm just going to open it in my PyCharm, which I'm using PyCharm. I can just locate that file and it's here. It seems like what it's doing is just pulling in the data folder and bringing the template horse. It should be pulling the right one, but let's see my new scene. So that's my new scene. Looks good. Let's see setup variables. Okay, so set variables is actually not create variables. Sorry, create variables. It's not correct because it's using the quadruped rig. Instead, I just want to change it to horse rig data folder. Okay, so that sets up the data folder for me. Saves automatically because it's PyCharm. So let's go back a few steps. Actually, let's go from the start because it's no longer simulating. So run step, set variables, import template. And now it imported the right template. Okay. Now, because this is already mirrored and it has its naming conventions, whatnot, so I definitely don't need this rig skeleton thing. So I can just delete that step. Now, bake global scale, I also don't think I need it. Let's just have a look. So we have, so those are in common. Bake global scale. Yeah, so that does some stuff here. So why don't I just delete the bake global scale as well? I don't need it. So let's save that as a horse rig. And let's see. So run step, set variables, import template, get rig orientation. Okay, so apparently this is missing a rig orient joint, and that's what helps to establish the orientation of the rig. So if I open my previous template to template horse, I have this thing here. And so that is my rig orient joint. And it's a basically joint with like 0, 0, 0. So I can totally just create a joint like that in the other template. So let's just do that in a horse rig. To make a joint, I'll just type in joint. And basically I just have to put it in there and name it rig orient joint. There you go. And so I can save that. And now if I run it from the beginning, run step, run step, run step, run step, it got me the orientation. Now create rig folders. Let's see if that works. So that worked. It organized my rig a little bit better. Now it's going to create a duplicate skeleton, but it's taking some parameters, like it's duplicating from the hips joint, I guess. So I don't exactly remember how I was doing that. So let's run it. And so obviously it's not finding that hips joint, right? So let's have a look at our other template. How was it set up? So the hips joint was here, and I was like the main joint of the rig. It didn't really have that root, right? So I could, in theory, just go in to my template and, just use that child of the root, which is this one. Or I could just use the root itself, I guess. For now, maybe let's try to use the root itself. So I'm just going to go here, edit the step, and just say, so I can edit that. Basically just type in root, finish editing and save step, and I can just go here, edit step, and just pass in another as well here, root. So that should kind of do it. So basically what it's making a bound skeleton, but it's also making so it's making like a duplicate skeleton here, right? Let's save that config for now as a horse. And let's see what happens. So run step, run step, run step, run step, run step, create rig skeleton. Okay, so it made a duplicate in here. So basically it created a duplicate and named it all rig. So that seems like it worked. Now run step, that cleaned up the skeleton, so we have two skeletons. Now it's going to map the skeleton to the rig skeleton. So let's do that. And that's where it's failing, because here it also wants some kind of a joint. It's going to map that bound skeleton, which is here, to the rig skeleton. So I have to edit that step as well and just do a root, save step, save that config again. So let's run it again. Run, 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 and then maps the skeleton. So it mapped the skeleton. Now the next step is it was going to create some twisters. But that's as you can see, so that's the rig skeleton. And within here, we have the bound skeleton inside the global control. So that's the skinned one. So there's two skeletons now. Look, see? That's the driver, that's the driven. So I believe what the twisters are going to do is going to add the new twister joints. And I don't really think we need that for this rig. Let's have a look. Edit step, edit code file. So yeah, what that will do, it will create a bunch of joints and it will create a bunch of twisters. It creates joints. Yeah, so I don't really need that step for this one. I think this horse doesn't need twisters because it's a simple rig. So I'm just going to delete it for now. So delete that step as well. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is probably like a mirror the foot pivots. So let's save this config again. I'm just going to keep saving. Okay. Well, let's run it. So every time I change something, I have to rerun it. I can normally step back, but if I change, I have to rerun the whole thing. That's basically how it works. Rig skeleton, clean up skeleton, map skeleton, mirror foot pivots. Now let's see the mirroring of the foot pivots. Oh, yeah, there you go, mirrored. Perfect. So now the next thing is build global control. So that's looking for something that's called global scale, and it's not finding that global scale in the global variables. Set variables, I could just set it there, or I could read it from this. So the problem is that this happens before I import the template, but I need it to happen after I import the template. Yeah, import template, I can just go there. This template, import template. Why don't I see it? Oh, because there are common steps. Horse rig, import template. So I can read it here. So I can do this. Global scale. Okay, so this reads global scale from the global control of the rig. Okay, so we can just do something like that. And let's step back. Let's run it. So try again. Run, 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 run. Mirror foot pivots, make global control. So it made a global control, but for some reason it made it like a really small global control. That tells me the global scale is too small. So I'm just gonna maybe scale it like 10, at least 10. So let's try 10. So we just go to that template horse, and here I'm just gonna say global scale 10, and let's run to current, and then we can run step. Oh yeah, sorry. So there's my global control. Yeah, that looks good. Here's my global control. It built it. Now the next step that failed is the rear legs. That's because it's looking for the names of the joint, left hip joint. But we don't have a hip joint. We have the weird name like this, L hip rig. So, you know, uh, there is some naming convention inconsistencies, and I'm going to try to clear it up, but I'll spare you the details. Basically, the auto-rigger is looking for specific names, but the template has different names, so we just need to match them. So let's open that template and edit it. I'm going to go comment and rename BN with nothing, and then I'm going to rename BE with nothing. And is there any other weird things there that I don't like? BR. I'm gonna rename BR too because I don't know what that is. There you go. So that's better. Now, do I have any duplicate names? I don't think so. Let's save this. Run to current. And now the next step would be to build that leg. But you know what? Let's take a break right now because it's been already a long time. We can carry on later. Let's just save the template. All right.